Hi, and welcome to day 12 of our 12 days of Christmas. Well, it's the last day of our 12 days of Christmas, and as I've done in the past 3 years, we're going to end this with a series of gift tags. For this year's tag, I decided to make them a little bit more jazzed up. I'm going to be using this die set by Élizabeth Craft Deisngs. It's called Tags and More to Deco. And if I zoom in, you're going to see how it cuts the angles on top. A nice design as well, if you choose to do so. It comes with some reinforcement dies to put over the hole right here, some side pieces, some corner pieces. And I'm kind of liking the star for the reinforcement, so that's what I'll probably use to do our tags for today. My inspiration for today's tags are these two beautiful papers by Teresa Collins, and it's two different collections. It's her two Christmas collection. This one is the Tinsel and Company collection, and this one over here is the Candy Cane Lane collection. Now, if you'll notice, in each of her collections, she has this wonderful sheets of 3x4s, card size, I want to say, designs. So they're very easy to cut and include them either on a card, or if you're doing a December daily, I'm sure that that would fit in pockets as well. But I'm going to use those to create the base, or the background, I want to say, of each of our tags. So I'll be able to create a lot of tags in no time, because you just need to cut, glue on cardstock, and then I'm going to use the dies to do the decorative header, I want to say, like the top of the actual tags. So first I'm going to cut each and every one of these, and then I'll choose the cardstock onto which I want to bag these up. Alright, so here's what I decided to do. Instead of doing 12 tags out of this sheet, I'm going to do 6. And the reason is I want to have a nice image also in the back, on the back, as opposed to just plain cardstock. And for this instance, I'm using dark red. So it's kind of tough also to write on dark red. So what I did is I looked at all of these images, and I chose one that is kind of full for the top, and then kind of like allows me space to write. This might not be a good example, or I can use the backing, but I chose one that is more plain for the back. So here's a good example. This would be on top, and at the bottom here on the back, I would be able to write to whom the gift goes to. Same thing here. I have this beautiful decorative image, but in the back it's kind of like plain. There is a little bit of design, but it's plain. So all of these were selected with that in mind. So now that I have all of these 6 tags selected, I'm going to cut pieces for the tags. And let me show you how the dies work. You'll notice that the dies are all connected when you open up the package the first time. So before you even begin to use it, you're going to have to snip those off. So I'm taking a pair of pliers and just snipping them off. And there are all the pieces that I've trimmed with the pair of cutters. Now, this die set is very cool in that it allows you a lot of freedom. You'll notice that the one that cuts the actual die, the frame of the die, is only cutting the top portion. And that is so that you can have as long as you want of a tag as you choose. So if you want to have a 12-inch tag, you can do so. You'll only cut the top first, and then you'll put the rest, you'll put the cutout in your paper trimmer, lining up the top part, and then finish cutting the rest of the tag. The good thing also about this is that if you have a long tag and you want to create a pocket, you just need to fold the bottom up, and then you would create a pocket inside of your tag. The other thing you could do also with this type of die is you can create a gift bag by using this piece at both ends of a long tag. You could also create some candy wrapping. There's all sorts of things that you can do with that. Or what you could do is you could take a piece of cardstock, trim it down to 3 1/4 inch wide, because this is the width of the die, and then use this on top of the actual piece and then run it through your machine, and then you wouldn't have to trim afterwards. So you can do it both ways. I'm going to do it the first way, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, so let me show you how easy it is to cut these dies. For the sake of the video today, I'm using a Big Shot machine. So if you have a different machine, you're gonna have to look up your manufacturer's instructions to find out the proper cutting recipe. So today I'm gonna show you the recipe for the Big Shot. So first, I have a magnetic platform, very useful when you have thin dies like this. I have a base cutting plate, my cardstock with the textured textured side facing me, sorry. And then I have, this is the base die. So I'm gonna first put that all over my cardstock, and I'm going to line up the top with the edge, or just below the edge. Okay. My magnetic plate has a sweet spot, so sometimes the die shifts. So I'm gonna line up the die towards the top of this piece of cardstock. I'm leaving just a little bit of wiggle room. And also the reason why I'm lining this up is that I don't want to cut askew, because then when I finish cutting this up in my paper trimmer, I might miss a bit of cardstock on, depending on the left or the right side. So better safe than sorry, just line up the top and then you'll be fine. Now I have a metal plate, which in my opinion is essential when you're cutting out of thin dies, and then another cutting plate. So I'm gonna run this through my machine now. Now remember, this will only cut the top of the tag and the hole. So if I remove this, you're gonna see that I have the beginnings of the tag. I'm gonna put this back on the magnetic platform and a cutting plate. I'm gonna take the detail die now, which I refer to it as a window because I think it looks like a window, and I'm going to line up the hole that is already cut out with the circle on the die. I'm also going to make sure that the top follows the top of that cut line, and do the same thing again. Put the metal plate and another cutting plate, and I think I just shifted the paper. Well, no. No, everything's good. All right, so look at this. See how easy that was? How fun. Now, the next step is to trim the rest of this tag. So for this, I'm just gonna snip off the excess because it's gonna be easier for you to see. I'm gonna bring my cutting board, and we know that the top here is perfectly straight. I would not recommend using this as a guide because the die, when you first put it on, might have shifted slightly. So this might not be as straight as you think. So this is my guide for sure. And I'm going to line up the top with the lip of my trimmer, and I'm going to bring down the ruler. And I have a wire inside of my ruler here, my cutting ruler. So depending on the type of cutting board that you have, you might have to visually line it up, but I'm lining it up with the wire and then cut. Look at this. Awesome. So now remember, this is the straight edge. So I'm gonna flip that over. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I'm just gonna flip that over. And cut again. So now I have a perfectly shaped tag. I hate to measure, I really do. So I have my piece of my decorative pieces that are going on top of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this right away onto the front of the tag, because I know it's a little bit longer than I want it to. So what I'm going to do is line up both edges. I want like 1/4 inch all around, and I also want 1/4 inch from that point to that point, from this point to the top of the decorative piece. So kind of like lining it up all in one shot. That looks about straight. So I have that all squared off. Now I'm going to go to the paper trimmer and line up that bottom of the image with the inside lip of the ruler and cut. Ta-da! It's done. Love that. Now here's another way that, here's another piece we can add to this. Well, of course we're going to add the decorative piece here on top. For instance, in this case, for my tags, I'm going to add the star, but that I can do at the end. What I wanted to show you is this. I'm going to cut out just a solid out of white cardstock. Now what I can do is, where's my other piece? Right here. I can double this up to have a real window on which you can put diamond stickles to reflect some light. So there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do. You can also choose pattern paper if you want to. You know, just get creative. Now for the first batch that I'm doing, I've done just the regular with no cardstock backing, because I happen to like this a lot. Now to finish that off, I'm going to cut a star out of white cardstock. Now this is a great way to use your leftover paper. I have these strips that I never seem to throw away, so I'm going to cut out the stars out of this piece of cardstock. But if you have, like me last week, I had a piece of glitter paper. And I never throw away my leftovers because they can be reused with punches or with dies. So that would be a great use of your leftover glitter paper. Cut out the stars, put that on top. I'm gonna have to do it manual. I'm gonna have to add the glitter afterwards. I'm gonna just use stickles. So I'll go ahead and cut 12 stars. I want them front and back. And then I'll get to decorating the tags. All right, so here are the tags all decked out, ready for Christmas. And I'll tell you what I did. I glued everything front to back. And as an accent, I added candy cane stickles and diamond stickles, as well as some washi tape, the decorative tape set by Teresa Collins. So essentially, most of what I've used here is from both Teresa Collins collections. In the back, I've added a few pieces of washi tapes just for interest, but you'll see that I added stickles on the Christmas ornaments and the star. This one as well, a little bit of diamond stickles and the candy cane one, my new favorite. And then a washi tape at the bottom. This one I just added some little tiny dots on top. I didn't add anything here just in case the person wants to write a message on this side or this side as well. I left this space empty. I added a piece of washi tape. Now this tree here, I also added a sequence, and this is also from the Tinsel and Company collection. And then this one here, I ended up adding the candy cane stickle on the star instead of the diamond because I don't know, I felt like it needed that pop up top here. And then on the back as well, another piece of washi tape. This one, stickles around the letters on the star. Now these three here are with the backed up, or the window backing, and the first three are without. And this one I stickled it and the other two I left bare. And then the back, again, another piece of washi tape. And the last one, I went over the letters with stickles as well. This is diamond and this is candy cane. And the reverse washi tape on this side. I absolutely love these tags. I think they're very festive, and that line, I love it. It's very, very classy. Now here are the other 6 tags that I did with the candy cane lane collection. These ones I've done them without stickles because to me they look a little bit more rustic, and I also added some cord instead of silver twine for the tag pull. Oh, and I also added, sorry, I added some stamping with the stamps that matched the collection, the candy cane collection. And here Santa was pointing towards this box, which is probably for writing the name of the recipient, but I felt it was missing something, so I stamped the Merry Christmas from the stamp set. And this is the back. I didn't add washi tape to any of these ones. I love this one. So beautiful. The images are really nice. And I stamped a tree, again from that stamp set. This one, the Happy Holidays and Countdown in the back. I couldn't really add anything to this. It's pretty busy, so I liked it that way. I was going to add something at the bottom here, and I think I forgot. This one is the reindeer. It says, have yourself a Merry Christmas. And on the back, I stamped trees and a few snowflakes. And this one, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And then on the back, I stamped the tree. The star was already there. And under the tree. And then in the back, they even left space to write your name or whatever you want to put in there. So, 2 sheets of paper, a die set, and a few embellishments, and you're good to go. And this concludes our last 12 days of Christmas for the year 2014. We hope that you've enjoyed this series. We will be back next week for one more project. We've kept this one for the end of the year because it's kind of related to end of year, beginning of new year. In the meantime, feel free to come by the store and check out the samples of all of the 12 days of Christmas. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next week.